Hey everyone, today's lore episode is about the V-19 Torrent Starfighter. Now, the V-19 Torrent Starfighter was the Republic's main primary starfighter that they used during the first 2 years of the Clone Wars, until they eventually slowly replaced it with the ARC-170 and the V-Wings. Now, the Torrent was designed to be a short-range starfighter carried into battle in the hangars of Republic capital ships such as the Venator-class Star Destroyer, although it later gained hyperdrive capability. A one-man craft, the V-19 was a solid, dependable ship equally at home in deep space or planetary atmosphere. It proved so successful that at least 2 variants were introduced into service, and venerable old Torrents continued to be used by the Empire for a long time after the Republic was a distant memory. Now, the V-19 was rushed into full-scale production after early prototypes had played a successful part in the Battle of Geonosis. The new starfighter was seen as an effective reply to the Separatist vessels that had exposed the shortcomings of the LAAT gunships, or the LAAT gunships. But the Republic had not foreseen how long it would take to train clone pilots, and it was not until the Battle of Munilist, which was some 4 months later, that Torrents appeared in significant numbers. Now, in action over the planet, they were engaged by a large fleet of Geonosian starfighters, but the clone pilots were able to dispatch sizable numbers of the enemy by firing their concussion missiles, before Count Dooku's Dark Acolyte Asajj Ventress took a hand and destroyed Blue Squadron. Now, V-19s also bore the brunt of the space battles at Teth, when Obi-Wan Kenobi led them in action against Vulture droids, and many of the Republic ships were destroyed there. And after forming a large part of Anakin Skywalker's forces during the successful campaign against General Grievous' flagship the Malevolence, Torrents again played important roles at the battles of Kuros and Ryloth, although they suffered terrible attrition in the latter action, with almost 1 in 8 being destroyed. Though technically replaced by the ARC-170 starfighters and V-Wings as the Republic's main fighters towards the end of the Clone Wars, the V-19 Torrent formed part of the task force sent to defend Kashyyyk. Tough and versatile enough not to be overlooked by even Imperial commanders, the V-19 was still being assigned to duties in the Outer Rim long after the fall of the Republic. Now, the V-19 Torrent was a unique design. Using powerful repulse lift engines, the V-19 was quick to deploy. Its 2 side wings would swing down from their near vertical landing position, settling in a downward sweep to either side of the cockpit. Uniquely, the V-19 Torrent had an additional airfoil that stood straight up above the cockpit when the ship was at rest, but swung down underneath the main fuselage during flight. This configuration with thrusters at 3 points was what made the V-19 an incredibly maneuverable starfighter. Each of the Torrent's side wings was tipped with a blaster cannon, and the ship also carried 2 entirely separate concussion missile launchers, each of which had a magazine containing multiple missiles. If this were not deadly enough, the V-19's missiles were able to track targets independently of each other, meaning each device could hit a different target. In this way, the Torrent could bring down many enemy ships with a single volley. The second year of the Clone Wars saw 2 variant models go into service. One of these was able to use modified Silua 31 hyperspace docking rings, similar to those used by Jedi starfighters. Now, for long-range escort missions, other Torrent starfighters were fitted with Class 1 hyperdrives. Now, with the S-foils raised, the Torrent would sit with its hull and main thrusters just above the levels of the hangar floor. And not only did this actually mean that the starfighter took up minimal hangar space so they could actually have more starfighters, but it also provided pilots with easy access to the cockpit's sliding canopy and made maintenance work much simpler for the engineers. And the lowered S-foils, together with high-performance repulse lift engines, gave the V-19 starfighter an exceptional vertical takeoff and landing capability. And there you have it. That's some history and specifications of the V-19 Torrent that you see used during the Clone Wars, namely during the Clone Wars TV series all the time. So if you like the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications to keep up to date with my videos, and leave a comment or 2, let me know what you thought of the video, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Later.